What a ride we've been on for almost 20 years now. Can you guys believe that you're almost hitting the 20-year mark?
Yeah, it's his fault. He started this whole thing. So, yeah.
Started as a joke 19 years ago, and here we are. So it's a 19-year joke so far.
Yeah, 19 years, over 1,000 shows. We're trying to count. We think it's our 6th full album. You know, we've been putting out music for a long time. And festival here in our hometown. So played on this stage how many times? You'd know better than me. 15?
12. I think 12 shows here at the Bijou.
So
we love Knoxville.
And that's one of the reasons we wanted to sort of meet and chat here is this stage is sort of special. It's one of the first that you performed on, right?
Absolutely. This was kind of our first big show here. We actually rented out the Bijou because nobody knew who we were. And we hoped some people would show up, and we ended up selling it out. And that was one of the big moments that said, hey, let's quit our jobs and get on the road and try to make this a career.
I want to look back on that moment. I mean, that's kind of a special moment if you didn't even know if you get people to really come to the show and then you sell out and sort of change your lives for it.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, we've been playing a lot of bars, you know, around town, and people would come out, but it's different when people are paying like $3, $4, $5 to get into a bar and hear you play. And then when you come to a theater, it's crazy how many years ago that was. And then, you know, people are like, okay, yeah, you're like an actual band. And then honestly, this theater helped launch our career. So.
And here we are coming out with, we think, the 6th studio album soon. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so, you know, the album's called Promises. We've been releasing music for a long time, like 19 years. But starting like 6 years ago, we kind of got on this just kind of rhythm of putting out new albums every 2 years. And we're going to try to keep sticking to that. But this album's called Promises. I mean, more than anything, it's just about kind of like our bond as a band, staying true to our word, kind of staying true to Knoxville. You know, we love making music, and we love Knoxville, and it's something we want to keep doing for a long time.
I love that. And so the Promises is sort of this promise to sort of keep giving back to the community that has given so much to you. Is that how you view it as well?
Absolutely. That's a big part of why we throw the Southern Skies Festival. We want to do a big party for Knoxville, celebrate our community. You know, we're releasing this album to kind of coincide. It's one of our album release shows. So we're just huge Knoxville fans, and we're always going to be there trying to do what we can for the community.
Well, let's talk about it because Southern Skies is coming up on May 10th. It's sort of evolved. I think, is this the 4th year?
Yes. This is the 4th year. COVID kind of, you know, tinkered with the schedule a little bit, but this will be our 4th year, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, we got Charlie Crockett as the headliner, and if you haven't heard him, I mean, he's just so amazing. He's a, you know, country, roots, blues, soul artist. We love him. He's from Austin, Texas, and so it's just really cool that he's going to come here and be the headliner for the festival. But so many other great artists, and we'll play that day. And then, you know, we've got Willow Avalon, Devin Gilfillian, Southern Avenue, and then Knoxville's own Cruz Contreras and the Black Lilies will play too. And so it's 6 artists all day long. You know, music starts around noon, ends around 10 p.m. And it's kind of something like we dreamed about, you know, for years. You know, we got to play all the different theaters and venues in Knoxville, and we always said, you know, like one day we want to have, you know, that festival experience that we get to help curate. And luckily we got, you know, partnered up with Dogwood Arts, and they had the same vision, and they've been doing events of similar kind for 50, 60 years, however long, I can't remember now. And so it's just fun to have a partner and to be part of the community, you know, make something that lasts and make something that's great. And it's Knoxville's own. That's kind of what, you know, we think about, you know, make something that's all Knoxville. So. And
you go there, and there's a sense of collaboration and things you can only experience if you're there that day. It's a unique event. It's really important to us, and those that have been there in the past have known you don't know what's going to happen, who's going to get on stage with together and play together. We want to keep that alive.
And I think it's so cool, as you said, that this was sort of a dream of yours to do. I don't think many people can go, let's have a music festival that we're going to curate and get people to come to, not only artists to perform, but also the community to come to want to pay and see it. How are you managing to pull this off? And it just keeps growing.
I mean, Knoxville's supporting it. in such an awesome way. I think we had a few thousand people come out last year, and each year we just kind of always say like, hey, let's see what we can do to keep this thing alive. And people keep coming back. But the way it's growing, I could see it happening, another 10, 20 years. I mean, it could really just continue to grow, and the footprint down there at World's Fair Park, I mean, we could bring 5,000, 6,000 people down there. It could continue to grow into this thing that Knoxville just embraces and makes it their own. So.
Well, I know that several years ago you all kind of took a break. You wanted to spend more time with your families, and I don't know at that time if you knew that you'd come back together and that you'd be where you are today. But looking back, and now you say you want to keep making sure that every couple of years you're producing new music, you're still performing, you're doing that. Could you have imagined that this would be where you are when you broke up those years ago?
No. When we broke up, that was it. Everybody's always breaking up, reunion tours, but it was legitimately the end.
We were worn out.
We were worn out. We lived on the road. The only way for a working band is to tour. And we started having young families, and it became pretty difficult to be, in Iowa for the 8th time. It kind of loses its luster. So we decided to, just take a step back from the road, and that was going to be that. But then after a couple years, we were all friends. There was no animosity or anything, and we thought, there's no rules to this. We don't have to tour at that level, that constant grind. We can just kind of do what we want. And we got together and said, hey, it'd be cool to play a couple shows. Then, you know how that goes. The couple shows turned into, we were shocked by the response, honestly. And so we added a couple more, then a couple more, and then like, hey, what if we made a new album? And then, here we are, throwing festivals and creating new albums. So we're able to do it our way and not live on the road, and we just go on the road when we want. So it works for us.
It's a different model when you have, 13 kids across all the band members.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think it's 13.
We got kids ranging from, 1 to 13. So we're little league coaches and room parents and all the things. And then, you go play rock and roll shows.
Right.
So it's a different model, but it's not one we could have envisioned at the time, no. But we're very thankful for it.
And our kids get to come to the show in Knoxville, right?
Yeah.
That's so fun.
It's so cool.
Yeah, there'll be side stage dancing, and that's a pretty fun experience.
Well, you've mentioned that you've been around for a few years. You're parents now, all of you, and yet you're known for the raucous live shows. I mean, the energy. How do you guys keep that up? I mean, let's face it, we're not getting any younger.
Yeah, it's a stage. You got to put a show on, right? That's right. We love what we do. I think that's kind of the key thing. We love what we do. We've always loved other bands that really laid it all out on the stage, made something memorable. And I think from the beginning, that was something that was important for all of us in the band. Make it something where people walk away and they're like, yeah, I'd come back and see that. That's exciting.
It's authentic, and we genuinely enjoy playing together. I think even more so now, because we are not on the road 200 nights a year. It's more of an event, and we're genuinely excited to be there. So that enthusiasm you see is authentic.
And coming up on Southern Skies, it's sort of going to be a little bit of an album release party too. So what can fans expect?
Yeah, so we'll play some of the new songs from the new album. The new album's called Promises. Comes out April 25th, and we're playing a couple album release shows, one in Nashville on May 3rd, and then here in Knoxville on May 10th at the Southern Skies Festival. And we'll have a few other shows throughout the rest of the year in the Southeast and in different areas. But I'd say we'll play 4 or 5 new songs from the new album. Folks that have been coming to see us for a long time, they'll be excited to see the new songs live, and still play old songs too. But
you'll get a mix.
Right,
You'll definitely get a mix. Yeah. And, again, you'll see some collaboration, and, it'll be a fun festival experience.
And we talked a little bit about the meaning of this album, but let's talk about the music. Is it sort of true to the Dirty Guv'nahs, or is there something new that fans can expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're a Dirty Guvs fan, you're going to like this album. It's got mostly upbeat, kind of southern rock fun roots rock music. There's maybe a couple kind of like slower songs, but for the most part, it's a really upbeat, fun summertime album. It's what folks love about our band. So,
kind of leaning into what we think we do best.
And you and I were just talking that you haven't really performed since the fall. So are we rehearsing now? Are we practicing? Are we going to be ready?
You got to practice. Yeah, you got to practice.
People are paying money for those tickets. We got to be prepared. So yeah, we've started rehearsing and running through all the new stuff and coming up with different ideas. So we're doing our time.
Well, is there anything else you want fans to know about the new album, the festival coming up? You guys sort of on this trajectory. I mean, what happens from here? We have no planned breaks in the future, right?
No. We just keep growing this festival and keep playing all the concerts that we want to play, doing it the way that makes sense for our lives. And to me, it's like it's all inspired by wanting to create new music. And like as long as that engine is churning, like the live shows just follow. Like as long as you have like new things to say, new music to put out, like the live shows just follow. So
we like each other too much to stop, so we're going to keep the train moving.
That's right.
I mean, honestly, hearing that, it's not often that a band with 6 members can stay together, and it's, as we said, been almost 20 years, and that you guys are still friends and still want to perform together.
And we still hang out even, outside of music.
We'll go. We went to the Tennessee basketball game in Indianapolis last weekend.
Oh, that's fun.
It was the worst game I've seen.
Yeah, it was terrible, but it was great company.
To be together.
Yeah. So we like each other. We're going to be together anyway. We might as well play music.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for chatting, and looking forward to all that's to come in the coming weeks. You guys are going to be busy, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.